Lovely to meet you guys.
You too, man.
Congrats on the new record. You can see it
Thank
just
you.
there in the back. Mine arrived today.
Yeah,
You
nice.
can see it there. Yeah, lovely. Still haven't got the first record yet, so I need to keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah,
Uh,
cool.
so how have you been now? It was out on Friday. How's the reactions been?
I mean, it's been really, really good. Our first album, The Approbation was, we were kind of overwhelmed by all the good feedback, but I think it seems like people in general, as well as ourselves, I think this is a step up as well, which makes us really happy. It's hard. The second album, people are
Yeah,
always like, oh, but yeah, it's been
yeah,
really, really good.
yeah. That difficult second album. It's can be a gift and a curse for some bands.
Yeah,
For you guys, though, it seems to be just the trajectory is just going up between the two of you guys as songwriters.
yeah. I mean, I think it wasn't any more difficult to write this one than the first one, really. I would say.
Really?
But that's the thing about this band, that we're doing it because we love it, and we're doing it only for ourselves and not for anybody else at all.
Mhm.
So we're not trying to please anyone. So I think that's why it makes it easy, and it probably shines through, I think, in
Yeah,
in the music.
like of course we had this first album in the back of our heads, but we tried to do it uh, yeah, in the same way as we did on the first record.
Mm.
Yeah, but yeah, tried to not feel that much on the pressure.
Yeah, because what really intrigues me is that the approbation was released in 23,
Yeah,
correct? 23, and now you released Wayne with the Sky 2 years later.
It's actually 2 years today
Is it?
since, yeah,
Wow.
actually on the date.
Happy anniversary.
Nice. I didn't even know. I just saw someone posted it like 10 minutes ago. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
right.
fuck,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, okay.
But like 2 years between albums is not a lot of time in this day and age, and especially with the complexity of the songs that you're creating. I'm assuming a lot of the albums from Waving at the Sky were already written, or at least half written.
Uh, we were kind of like done with the approbation, but before it got released, we started going back to this cabin to write for the next album. So we did write a couple of songs, I think, before the approbation was released. But I mean, we're pretty fast, I think. I think we did like 6 trips to the cabin, and we wrote about 2 songs each time. And, yeah.
yeah. I think we wrote the general ideas in four trips, and then did some more vocals and
Yeah.
stuff on the last 2 trips.
And this cabin, is it a like studio as such, or is it like a cabin and you've made?
It's a proper cabin now.
Yeah,
So we just my day job is mixing music, so I work in music, so I have a lot of equipment. So I have this portable setup as well. So I just pack up that and bring that to the cabin, and we kind of make it into a studio.
amazing. So you just literally the two of you go away for the weekend and
Yeah.
spend time. Is it like I know it's very isolated from what I understand. Is it there's nothing else there, nothing to do? Like,
No, there's a small town, not like 20 minutes from the cabin, but there's nothing to do. You can do some hiking in the mountains. We actually did that on Saturday because we went to the cabin on Friday just to drink beer and celebrate the release, and then we
nice,
climbed the mountain on Saturday and drank even more beer.
nice,
Yeah,
amazing.
it
Sounds
was nice.
incredible.
Yeah, it was.
And you guys played Arctangent as well.
Yeah,
Was
last
that
year.
last year or 23?
Last year, I think. Yeah,
Was it
last
last
year. Yeah.
year?
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts on that?
it was great. I mean, we didn't open the main stage, but I think we had like the second spot, which was like 10
Or
past 12 or something.
Yeah.
8 p.m. Yeah.
So we thought that we were lucky if it would show up like 20 people, but it was, I mean, several thousands. So it was, we were kind of shocked going out on the stage.
It's in Arctangent is a festival, like, you know, you have sort of like your major festivals like Download and all those ones, but Arctangent's quite very different because, like you said, at like 10 in the morning, you could be opening like the fourth stage and it will be packed because people just because they curate such a great bill each year. You can just walk into one tent and find your new favorite band. Like,
Yeah,
just
because it was a great lineup as well, and
yeah,
this year it's even better.
you didn't get invited back again.
Not this year, but hopefully next year.
Yeah, yeah. And did you get to spend much time at the festival, or were you flown in and out?
No, just that day.
Right.
Uh,
So you
it
didn't get.
started raining as fuck at some point.
Yeah, that's standard at Arctangent, pretty much.
We slept at this really cozy hotel called the Lytton Inn in Cheddar Road, or at Cheddar Road.
Wow, good memory.
Like 20 minutes away from the festival. It was really cozy.
I mean, that's incredible because that's like what, a year after you released the Approbation, and then you were playing Arctangent Festival, which is, I mean, what were your thoughts when you received the offer? Did you know much about it, or?
No, we have a couple of friends who played there. And the main thing about the offer was that the fee was really low. So we went well in minus, to say the least.
Yeah.
But because the festival looked so good and we heard nothing but like really great stuff, we were like, okay, fuck it, let's just spend the money and do it. And it was well worth it. I think we gained a lot of new fans as well, and yeah,
100%.
it was a really good trip.
It was actually my co-host on the podcast. We were there last year, and he said, "Oh, you need to come see this band." And I can't remember what the circumstances were because I'm a huge Opeth fan. So he was like, "You're going to love this," and I didn't go for some reason or another. And he came back and was like, "Right, listen to this album." And then I was like, "Why didn't I go to that show?" Like, like discovering your new favorite bands. Like I was saying there, like just. It's so good.
Next time.
Yeah, next time for sure. I'm actually in Oslo a week tomorrow, so unless you've got a show going on there, have you?
Not then, no.
You couldn't arrange one very quickly for a week?
Maybe, yeah, small, just for you, yeah.
Yeah, just for me. But no, like, I mean, they have like I saw Hacken play there as well. They headlined one of the stages off the back of their last album. Flute. What's the last album called? You know, with the monkey smoking.
Yeah.
Fauna.
Fauna, that's the one. Off the back of that, and obviously you've got someone on your record as well.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
He liked our post, and he posted himself with a picture of the album. Check this out, and yeah, and then we just sent him a message, an email, or yeah, and then he was up to doing some collaboration on the next record. Yeah, and of course we on this Malevolent song we didn't have any hook or the top line on the chorus, so we almost threw it away. Because we didn't we weren't that happy with the song. Then we asked Ross to make some ideas, and we had something, but he came up with some new stuff, and then he
He wrote the lyrics as well for that
Yeah.
track.
Wow. Did he offer or did you ask?
Well, he offered. I can't recall, but I think he offered actually. But he got like the full brief about the backstory of
Yeah.
the whole album, and that this track is kind of a tacky track, which is about the stepdad of the case and whatnot. And then he got the full brief. So it was nice.
I mean, do you sit there and think, like, how do I word this? Like, you've got Hacken, or one of the biggest prog metal bands around, and you've got the lead singer holding up your album and then coming to sing on your album. That must be incredibly humbling from your side.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we both got. I mean, we're label mates on Inside Out, but
Yeah.
we didn't think that he would actually like listen to the first album, and for him to post picture of himself like praising the album, it was such great pleasure for us. So yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah,
He's a
like,
great guy.
Like 2 albums, and you've got Hacken singing on your record. Like, just like congratulations, I think is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like,
Thank you.
incredible.
That's cool.
Did you, on a side note, did you listen to Charlie Griffith's solo album came out? Tikkalaka, something like that?
I haven't listened to it yet.
I've heard 2-3 songs.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
good. Really good. He's a lovely guy as well, Charlie. And you guys, your dads sort of well, I suppose they did get you into this music, and but like when you were growing up, what sort of, I don't want to sound cheesy, like an obvious question, but I just find it interesting because I'm a big
Mm.
like, what bands do you remember growing up that like really stuck with you now, and I don't know, maybe you still follow them?
From my dad and my side, I think the bands, probably like the 3 bands that stuck with me that my dad showed me,
Yeah.
would probably be the Swedish band Anekdoten, and the Mars Volta,
Oh yeah.
and a Danish band called Mew.
Okay.
That's probably those 3 bands that he showed me.
Yeah.
I showed him Opeth and
Okay.
you know, and stuff like that. Porcupine Tree as well, of course. He showed me.
Yeah. Same
I'll
for
include that.
Porcupine Tree. Yeah, but before that, my father listened a lot to Rush, and yes, not that much Genesis.
Mm.
But and of course Dream Theater.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then my brother introduced me to Opeth, and the more heavier stuff.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of European stuff there from the 2 of you, like Dream Theater obviously is outside, but a lot of European stuff. And I think the European scene at the moment is, and especially in Scandinavia, we were talking about this on the podcast, there must be something in the water over there because the stuff that's coming out of Scandinavia, like, is just unbelievable.
And people keep saying that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I discovered, do you know Vola?
Yeah, we're playing with them on Sunday actually in Portugal.
No way.
Yeah.
As support.
No, we're doing a festival and we're like one of the 3 last bands playing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Because I heard in certainly some of the tracks of the new album, I got that sort of Vola vocal style, like the real sort of soaring and majestic vocals.
I've actually never listened to Vola once in my life. Just to be honest. Come
Okay,
straight.
you're just. I wasn't. It was a compliment. It wasn't to say
Yeah,
you're
that's good.
them off. I like how you put that out there though. Like I've never listened to them.
But I'm going to see them on Sunday though.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah. There's another band. I don't know if you've heard them. They're from America. They're called Wilderun.
Oh,
Their last album was oh God, Epigon. The one before that was Veil of Imagination, but I would highly recommend you check them out.
Okay, cool.
They basically I discovered them when do you know when Opeth went onto their prog No Death Growls? They sort of came in around then and then like really sort of scratched that itch for that Opeth style.
Oh,
Uh,
okay, cool.
so I would highly recommend you checking them out as well.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, this isn't about them. This is about you guys.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
great.
so touring wise, then you got a gig on Sunday. What else is planned?
Nothing that's like official and or yeah. For now, it's actually just the gig in Portugal.
Okay, and in Oslo next week, right?
Yeah, next week. But that's a secret show.
That's a
Honestly.
secret. Yeah.
So,
One of those where you text me on the day where the secret venue is.
uh,
Um, like in terms of a newish band, really. I mean, sorry, I know you've been songwriting for numerous years, but when I say new, I mean a new recording artist. Um, with like Inside Out being on your label or you being on their label, was there a lot of push to get this latest album out from them, or were they pretty cool and laid back?
oh, they didn't push at all. I think. Um, I might think they actually thought that we were done quicker than they
Yeah,
expected. I mean, when we wrote the first album, we didn't even plan to release it at all, because we mainly did it just for Martin and myself to be more together because we live a couple of hours apart or an hour-ish. But then we were like, this is kind of good. So, and then we almost signed to a Norwegian label, actually,
really.
called Crime
Okay.
Records. But then we were like, maybe we should just like translate the small press text we made in Norwegian to English and just try to send it to Inside Out because we grew up with the Inside Out logo being on every CD
Yeah.
in our dad's shelf,
Yeah.
But we knew a lot of people that had sent their stuff to Inside Out, and some didn't even get a reply. And if they did, it usually said like thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
So then we were like, okay, I mean it's better. What's the expression? Safe than
Better
sorry.
safe than sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we sent it, and we just got a reply saying, "How old are you?"
Was that a deal break? Did you have to lie?
No, actually not. We didn't. I think he was quite happy with us being under 30 at that time.
For a change.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's so like you saying you weren't maybe going to release it is just like unthinkable now that it's actually. Do you know if you'd have just sat that between you two, no one would ever realize that what you've created is out there. But we're
Yeah.
so glad you did because I mean the first album was like when you talk about age, you're like you shouldn't be this talented this young to put out something like
Thank you.
this. It's just not fair on anyone else. But I mean, yeah, like it really is brilliant. And then this new one, I've got the record today, but we've had it for well, a couple of months now, I think, from the publicist. And I mean, I haven't stopped playing it. Like, it's definitely going to be in my album of the year list at the end of the year.
Thank you.
It's going to be very high up there, unless something else comes out and unless you release another album this year. You never know. You never know. What's your favorite song off the new album?
I'll start.
Yeah. I think it's the same one for me, but you'll say it.
I think it was not. It still is the third. The
Families Are Forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so because it's a little bit different, but at the same time the awkward sound, and it's something with the memories when we wrote the song. It was kind of I think we struggled a little bit, but then it kind of loosened up, and we had some progression in the writing, and yeah, yeah. Same for you, Simon.
It's probably the same track for me. It just got everything I love about it, I think.
It's my favorite as well. Like, I think
Cool.
as soon as like I heard it, it really has like, because your first album was, well, obviously it's progressive, but it was like a sort of a statement. And I think this album now, as I said at the start, like I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, as songwriters, I think you've massively expanded what you're looking to do. And when I first heard the chorus on Families Are Forever, I was a bit taken aback, thinking it doesn't sound like something I was expecting on this album, but it's just so lush. Like
Uh,
it's such a, and I think sometimes you listen to albums and you really feel like the subject matter, and I think that sort of hits hard as well on this track.
yeah, I think so.
But like, I mean, for progressive music is so technical, or it can be. You can make it as technical as you want or strip it back or whatever. And I think the track with Ross on is literally the perfect showcase of you as a band. Like that track's only about 3.5 minutes, maybe 4 at
Yeah.
most, something like that. But what
Yeah.
you packed into that like 3.5 minutes is pretty mind blowing, considering, like I said, your first album, how expansive it was, and now this, like, it's just not, you sort of expect to hear that on a Pantera album, or a sort of heavy metal band that's only 3.5 minutes. But I mean, was that did you have to chop any of that down, or was that like that was it?
Oh, that was it. And we had like the melody for the verse for the vocal, but we just didn't. I mean, it's a bit different of a track from the others, but it just really fits the story and the concept well. And on the album as a whole, when you listen through it, it kind of breaks up and it goes a bit faster and it's shorter and a bit harder. And when we got Ross in, we're like, okay, we're having this track,
Yeah,
on the album.
it's great. It's such a good song. Like,
thanks. I mean, I think a lot of, or not a lot of people, but some people got a little bit disappointed when it first, because that was the first track that came out, and it's short, and people who loves progressive rock stuff like longer tracks. But I mean, I like it as well. It's a good track.
you're never gonna like. I always remember playing Orchid by Opeth and then them opening with 16-minute track, like on their first album, and being like, that's ballsy, like bringing that. And then obviously when they, after Watershed, when they went to their, I don't know, they're still a prog band, but the non-death metal growls, that a lot of people didn't like that. And I think one of the things with prog music, and I know you have to do it because it's obviously part of your deal with the label. Releasing singles on their own doesn't tell the picture of an album at all. Like, I remember Tool released their last album, Fear Inoculum. They released one track off it as a single, and like, just out of context, like it just didn't, it was like, oh, it's a Tool song. When you actually listen to like, your new album, that song on its own would probably seem out of context, but when you put it all together, it makes sense. And that's why I don't listen to singles, and that's not me being a snob. I just like to have the whole package.
I mean, if it were up to us, we would just release the album, you know, and no singles. But
Yeah.
you need to be a really big band to do that these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm glad I know people that didn't really like the Malevolent with the Ross Jennings when it came out as a single, but they do like it now because they can see like the context of it. And Martin and I always, as in these two albums, are kind of like focused on having it like a conceptual thing. So we're always thinking about the track list and how the songs can go into each other and how they can like tie the album together. So I think that's important that people listen to the whole thing.
And you also got Cantor.
Yeah.
Is that his first? I think it's his last name, isn't it? Eileen.
Yeah, it's called Eliran.
Yeah.
Or I don't know. It's not from Norway, but
Yeah,
Eliran,
yeah.
I think.
But I mean, like, he's done some unbelievable work. Like,
Yeah.
that's frightening.
Yeah.
That is frightening.
I
mean, like,
you can really feel it when you see it.
Yeah. But like, I've got tons of records here where he's probably done the artwork for. Was this another one of you just reached out and asked?
Yeah, he did the first one as well.
Okay. So you did the second, sorry, I meant that.
I think when Martin and I was thinking about, okay, let's release this album, The Approbation. When we came to that point, we were thinking about the artwork, and I had this. I couldn't recall the name of the guy, but I followed this painter on Facebook, and I had to scroll through all the pages that I've liked because I didn't recall the name.
Right.
And then I found a page, and it was Elrond Cantor. And then we just had him do it, and because this is kind of a prequel in story-wise to the first album, we wanted to have this kind of a red thread line through it and have him do the artwork for this one as well.
So do you think you're going to follow, what will it be now? The sequel, the next one? I don't know what it would be now because you've done it backwards. Prequel, sequel to the prequel, whatever. Do you think you're going to carry on this storyline, or have you got more things that?
It's probably going to be something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still a concept, or have you got?
I think it will always be a concept album because that's kind of how we like to make music, and if it was up to me, I would just have one track in 45 minutes, you know.
Yes.
Because I want people to listen through the whole thing anyways. So
yeah.
But it's definitely going to be a concept album as well.
Yeah. We have some ideas, but it's quite early.
Yeah.
But I do love that idea of having one track, 45 minutes. Like, it's very few bands do it, but the ones that do, like I think Blood Incantation had one recently, which was like 30-odd minute track or something like that. But
yeah,
I love that
it's a great album.
Yeah. I love the challenge of saying, here's one track. Satyricon did it with Satyricon and Munch. Do you know that they did for the Munch Museum in Oslo? And
I can see. I live next to the Munch Museum, so I see it here out of my window.
Oh, do you?
It's actually right outside of my window.
No way.
Yeah. You can see it. Swap the camera around there. There it is.
Wow.
Huge pile of shit right in the center.
Wow. We're staying there. So we're there next Tuesday, and we're staying by the train station, like 400 meters from Helvete.
Yeah, that's like 5 minutes walk from my house.
Yeah.
And
Sure, see it.
our guitarist Edward, he actually works at the Munch Museum.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I must drop in and see if I can spot him.
Yeah, he'll probably give you a free ticket as well.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I should bring a record and get it signed.
Yeah.
Walking around Oslo with a record. Well, probably a lot of people do. I'd say it's not out of the ordinary. And actually, we met a girl. So we're going to Tons of Rock Festival.
Yeah, nice.
And we last year met a girl there, and she actually messaged me and said, "Oh, by the way, you should check this band out." And it was your approbation, right? And she said,
Cool.
"My brother was in a vinyl shop, and some guy in there who's been there 40 years just said, 'Here, try this.'" And that's how I got like.
That's cool.
That's cool, isn't it? It's a really cool story.
Yeah. Wow.
It's such a small world when you think about it.
Yeah, definitely is.
What was I talking about? What were we talking about? We went off.
Oh,
we're talking about the concept. Yeah. And do you guys still listen to music? And I don't mean that in a snowy way, but do you still like check out new bands, or are you very much just focused on yourselves?
I do check out new stuff like Blood Incantation.
Yeah.
And I mean, I always check out new albums from bands that I grew up with and listen a lot to, like Mayhem and Satyricon for that matter. But my work is also listening to music for 8 hours each day.
Yeah.
I mainly work with pop music, like only.
So that's the concept for the next album is pop music, like
I probably won't, but I played in a lot of black metal bands over the years as well because I really grew up with black metal. That was my main thing. I have like this Stave Church tattoo on my whole arm.
Oh wow!
But I really do love working with pop music. I try to bring like the brutality and like the heavy hitting stuff from my musical preferences into the pop music. So I do listen to a lot of new pop stuff as well.
Yeah. The last year I've been quite bad checking out the new music. But depends on in some holidays, vacations, I'll always check out some new stuff. But in the daily, I don't.
No.
I don't have the the energy anymore to check out new, because I want to have a proper listen when I first check out things. So
yeah. And just coming back to the black metal scene, because I mean I got into black metal. I think it was Satyricon's Now Diabolical was the first one, and I remember like reading about the scene and just being fascinated by it. You know, like the whole. Won't mention one band, but like Mayhem, Immortal. You know, all the black metal bands, and obviously the things that came with it, like church burning and stuff like that. Were you aware of that as kids? When I don't know,
we grew up Christians, both of us. So and I wasn't like a rebel, but I was mainly wearing like black clothes and listening to black metal. So I actually had several CDs that I bought, like Dimmy Borgir and Dark Throne and stuff, taken away from me. So my mom took it and threw them away.
No way.
She's not like that today, but when we grew up, it was bad listening to that kind of music with like satanical lyrics or whatever.
And what about you, Martin? Were you aware of what was going on?
I'm not that much into black metal, to be honest. Of course, I heard I listened to a lot to Mayhem and Dimmu Borgir and Satyricon as well.
Yeah,
that's mostly been via Simon. But sometimes, but not as much as Simon.
But were you aware of like the church burnings and stuff happening at the time? And were you like, I'm just trying to understand because sorry, Norway is a smallish place.
I mean, it kind of happened while we were being born, you know,
Okay, so
like in '93, which we both got born in like around that time.
yeah,
But I was a bit more into like the historical stuff of it, so I read a lot of it
Mhm.
and yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, we were there 2 years ago as well, and I don't know if you can see there, but we were in Niven Bar, and I got to meet Frost,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
He worked at the gas station next to where I grew up selling hot dogs,
no way,
actually. Because you know Sigurd von Graven, the
yeah,
vocalist, I think he took all the money, so Frost had to work at the gas station,
no way,
you know, and also playing in Satirical.
no
So
way.
I met him at the gas station a couple of times.
Recently,
No, that's
oh
like 20 years ago.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And then I met Garl as well
yeah,
in Niven. So I met Frost first, and
yeah,
then met Garl, and was just like, and then
yeah,
last year flying to Oslo, a bath was on our flight, sat right in
yeah.
front of me.
Yeah, that's funny. He's crazy.
Sorry.
He's crazy, Abath.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But if you go to Bergen, you'll meet Gal all the time because he's just hanging out at bars and drinking wine.
Really,
Yeah,
he was very cool. Like
yeah, nice.
he sort of like asked to come by me, and I was like, oh, like
Yeah,
fanboy moment, and said, oh, and we just chatted for like 5 minutes, and I said, can I have a photo? Thinking he'd say no, and he was like, yeah, no worries. Like
yeah,
completely. Like they always say, don't meet your heroes, but nah, it's not that.
yeah.
Yeah. I know the drummer in Gals Vyrd.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, the drummer.
really? Drummers, what do they call it? Drummers,
Yeah, Kevin Kvåle.
drummers union.
Very soon,
Oh
every
yeah,
drummer in Norway knows each other, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We studied together. Um,
Really?
yeah, he was 2 years above me. Yeah, he's a little bit older. Yeah, great blast beats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, do you know, talking of drums, I remember distinctly listening to the Pale Moon off the first album, and the at the end with the when it drops and goes very heavy, there's some lovely double bass flicks in there that just sound so lush. That I
yeah.
mean, the production on it is incredible. Did you focus on the like, when you're mixing and mastering, do you focus a bit more on this, or is the way you set up the drums? Because it just sounds perfect.
Oh, I mean that's my main thing, like getting the drums to
Yeah,
sound quite natural, but still like punchy and yeah, clear throughout.
yeah. I mean, they sound massive. Like, what's the setup?
Uh,
Like, have you got
on the
just
drums.
on the drums? Sorry, yeah.
We recorded them in a not that great studio, actually. It was just it was your Sonor drums, Martin.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. This. Oh, I have this blurry. Yeah, yeah,
So you've got one bass drum,
yeah. Only double pedal.
and have you got what, two rack toms, floor tom, snare,
Yeah, two rack toms, two floor toms.
or two floor toms?
Yeah,
Cool.
and
Is it?
some crap and chinas.
Oh, nice, nice. Is it? I can only imagine how complex it must be playing some of these songs as a drummer. And not to dismiss Simon, obviously you as well, but like
ah,
you must be
Yeah,
so tired after it.
yeah. But most of all, it's totally different playing these songs because this is a band that I programmed all the drums a long time ago, and
Oh,
the progression and how the songs develops is when I start to rehearse the songs, it's quite naturally, and of course I have to practice and relearn some things, but it's based on emotions and in much stronger ways than when I learn other songs in other bands and do cover songs, and yeah. So playing my own parts is totally different.
And we don't try to make complex music, you know.
For the sake of it.
We're not trying to overdo and
Yeah.
make stuff that isn't in our skill set, kind of, you know. So we just make whatever feels right and that we feel it's easy to play.
Yeah. So there's not going to be a Mike Portnoy style drum kit in the future with all those for you, Martin, no?
No, I don't think so. It's too much to bring.
No John Petrucci wanking guitar solos as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Last question, Jensen. I'll let you go. Thanks for your time.
First.
The upcoming show on Sunday.
Yep.
This will be the first time, obviously, you'll be playing since the album's come out, right? Is
Yep.
that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't word that very well, but yeah.
I get it.
So, are you going to be laying heavily on the new tracks on the latest set, or are you going to mix it up 50-50, or what's the not to reveal the set list, by the way?
I know we have quite a few fans over there, which are coming, and they've obviously been listening way more to the Approbation than Waving at the Sky over the years. But we're doing a bit of both. But we're starting with some stuff from Waving at the Sky, and then we're doing all the what we feel are the classics of the Approbation. And the Approbation, the last track is our Deliverance, which Opeth can't not play as the last song when they play live, you know. And that's Approbation to us. So when in 30 years we're still playing the Approbation as the last track.
I mean, like, we often talk like amongst my mates about, like, you know, Maiden in their set list, like they, you know, if I go see them, I don't want to hear Number of the Beast again. I don't want to hear Run to the Hills. I've heard it millions of times before, but they can't leave it on the set list because fans get upset. But like, I mean, I've heard Deliverance like live and played it like here. I couldn't tell you, and it's still the best outro of all time.
It's really good.
And only Harlequin Forest by Opeth comes second to outros. The way that they're just so good. But no, I'm delighted because you played the Approbation in Arctangent, didn't you? Yeah.
Then we even had I think we had 30 minutes set or something. So we played Pale Moon, Isolation, and Arcing Clouds, and then just the Approbation.
Nice. So that's going to be your set finisher from now on, yeah?
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's a great ending, and it's really emotional to play that last part, and it's really it's like you get a nice feel, and I think all the people listening also gets the same feeling.
Yeah,
and it's a nice way to end the show.
I actually watched someone had a screen camera of it on YouTube, and the production was great, by the way.
Yeah, we have a great sound engineer as well.
Because Arctangent's very dodgy. Some bands, especially that early, mightn't even get a sound check. You know, it's like go on and
we didn't have a sound check, but our sound engineer he's really great. And since my work is mixing music, I'm concerned about how it's going to sound, and I think he's concerned about me not liking it as well. So.
And him getting sacked, basically.
He gets a bit pressure,
I remember seeing Imperial Triumphant in a tent in Arctangent, and the mix was just so bad. And you know,
then it sucks.
you know, I don't know if you've listened to Imperial Trumpet, but their sound is so
Yeah.
huge on record that when it's not right on stage, it was just sounded so muddy and disappointing.
I kind of want the live sound to kind of sound like the record,
Yeah.
because that's more typical in pop music, but in prog or metal, it often sounds a bit duller and just less massive live,
Yeah.
which some people like, but I really like it to be massive, and I want the people to feel the same things as they do on the record, just by louder and even
Yeah.
more massive, you know.
Yeah. I think like if you're a heavy metal band like say Lamb of God or someone like that, Slayer, for example, Pantera, I think you can get away with it being not as pristine because of the sound, like the
Yeah.
whereas, you know, like if I go see Opeth or
Yeah.
Enslaved, for example, like that has to be sounding perfect. Otherwise it just ruins it.
Yeah,
But I think
definitely.
that's just more of a lot of bands would love to have that, like a sound engineer like yours who can pull things off on the day and live during it and things like that. I lied, Simon. I've one more question. What's the weather like in Oslo?
It's way too hot for me. I hate the sun. It's 24 degrees today,
Nice,
Celsius.
nice. You're still a
Yeah,
black.
if you like the sun, it's nice.
Cool. You're still
We're
a
going
black
to
metal
Portugal
fan.
and it's 40 degrees.
Oh,
So I'm going to hate every second of being in Portugal.
you're still a black metal fan at heart, aren't you?
Yeah, when I was a
Not the
kid,
sun.
I was like, when I was a kid, I said to my mom, when I grow up, I'm going to have these blackout curtains nailed over all my windows and only have like candles as light source. And then I got a girlfriend, and she didn't want that, so
Yeah.
ended up compromising.
Maybe one day. Maybe one
Yeah,
day.
maybe.
Talk her into it. Gents, thank you so much for your time. Really
Thanks for
appreciate
having
it.
us.
And congrats on the new album. It is fantastic.
Thank
And
you.
I hope to see you live at some point, wherever that may be. I'll keep an eye out. And sure, I might bump into you in Oslo, Simon, in a week's time if you're around.
Great. Yeah.
Gents, once again, thank you so much for your time. Congrats on the new album. Best of luck on Sunday, and take some Factor 50, Simon, for you.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.